Dear learners, welcome back to this important session on Women's Day. And this is Gitanjali Singh, Assistant Professor in Media and Communication Studies at Chaudhry Bansilal University, Haryana. So, my dear learners, so far we have discussed the role of some of the women achievers in Indian media, and we have discussed about Devika Rani, who was the first heroine of the Indian cinema, the first actress of the Indian cinema, and then we have also talked about Homi Vyarawala, who was the first photojournalist, and we have also discussed about the role and contribution of Annie Besant in women empowerment, journalism, and inspiring Indians for the independence of India. So this is how we have the previous session has gone through, and now continuing this session, we would be discussing about some other women achievers, and these women achievers we have chosen from television, the early television presenters who have marked their presence, who have created their own space in Indian television and in Indian media, and who were very popular among the masses. Their style, the way they used to, present the information to the people, the way they presented news to the people was very fabulous and very magical. Phenomenal also. So I definitely salute these women and these women journalists. And the first in this session, I would be discussing about the first. I would like to begin with Pratima Puri ji. She was the first television presenter and the news presenter. But before that, I would like to share some facts on television. The first television broadcast in India took place on 15th September 1959 from a makeshift studio at All India Radio. From their offices office premises in Delhi, and it was on an experimental basis only. This was just an experiment when the first broadcast of a television program or television broadcasting happened in India on 15th September 1959. And then it was just an experimental basis, and the regular service or the regular broadcast of first news bulletin and the other programs on Indian television started in the year from 15th August 1965. Now you must be wondering that why am I telling you all this? So there is a reason behind this. The first news bulletin was read by Pratima Puri, who was the first news reader on Indian television. She started her career with All India Radio. So she was an announcer at All India Radio, news reader at All India Radio in Shimla, and she was handpicked and chosen for the first news bulletin, which was from 1965, in the year 1965, that the first news bulletin which was aired on Indian television. So she was handpicked and she was transferred from Shimla to New Delhi for this, and she was given the responsibility to read out the first ever news bulletin, which was the history of Indian television. So she had not only this, she worked for almost 30 years on television and Akashvani, and she had not only given or presented the news to the audience, but she has also interviewed some of the great personalities of that time, including Yuri Gagarin, who was a cosmonaut. And then the second woman in this list is Salma Sultan. Salma Sultan was born in 1944, and she is an Indian television journalist, and later on she moved to direction of television program, having worked as a news anchor in Doordarshan in 1967 till 1997. So she was active till 1997, and she later went into directing television shows for Doordarshan. And Salma Sultana had initiated a trend wearing a signature rose tucked under her left ear in her hair and draping the border of her sari around the neck in a modern yet traditional way. So Salma ji did her graduation from Bhopal, and she did her post graduation in English from Indraprasth College for Women in Delhi, and simultaneously she gave her audition for announcer at Doordarshan at the age of 23, and she gave the first news of the assassination of Indira Gandhi on Doordarshan evening news on 31st October 1984. So she was the first one who presented the news of Mrs. Gandhi's assassination, and she was also one of the important and one of the prestigious news presenters on Doordarshan, and she was also, very popular among the masses, and she was also loved by the people very much, with her style of, putting that rose, and also the way she used to bring that Indian attire with herself, the way she used to come and appear on the screen. People used to love that. People used to fascinate that, and that is why she was very popular among the other news readers and the other television journalists that time. And the next in the list is Renee Khanna, who was again with television. She was also a television presenter. So Renee Khanna graduated in English literature from Jesus and Mary College, Delhi University, and she did her post-graduation in history, and also did her PG diploma in journalism from Indian Institute of Mass Communication. So she was an alumni of one of the premier institutes in India, Indian Institute of Mass Communication, and she was, she did a diploma course from there. And Renee Khanna she was also one of those who were handpicked and selected from radio to anchor the national news on Delhi Doordarshan in 1985. And she does commentary on occasions including Independence Day, Republic Day, etc., for television and radio. So she has been a very good commentator for important occasions of national events such as Independence Day, Republic Day, etc. And she did it for television as well as for radio also. So both the way she was active in All India Radio, Akashvani and Doordarshan. So she was one of the prominent anchors of Indian television. In 1985 she was handpicked and she was selected from radio to anchor the programs on Doordarshan. And in addition to presenting news, Renee was an experienced voice talent, rendering commentary and voiceovers for documentaries, advertisement films and feature films. And she has also given female voice for the Delhi Metro. So she was a very creative voice talent. She had given her voice to various commentaries, programs, and even she gave her voiceover for very prestigious documentary films which were broadcast on Doordarshan and other platforms. And ad films also she gave her voice, and feature films also. And the next in the list is Niti Ravindran. She is again with television. She was again important television personality. She used to work with Doordarshan between 1976 to 2001. Talking about DD, she says most of the news was read out rather than illustrated through visuals, which meant you got to see more of the presenter. So in an interview she had told the people that during her days when she used to read news, there was, the role of presenter was more important. But as we, in comparison to the present day news where the visuals are, more emphasized, or visuals of any news event are given more space on television screen, and the presenter get a lesser screen time than the visuals. So, but at that time when she used to work, the way the television presenter used to present was very important, and people used to, there was a lot of screen space for them, and the presenter was seen for a more time on rather than the visuals. So during that time the presentation style of news was different. That was more of a news reading, and today we see as more of an extempore speech or what we call it news anchoring rather than news presenting or reading out news, the concept of news reading. So Ravindran does a lot of comparing of shows also. She did a lot of shows that time on Doordarshan. And Niti Ravindran used to grace the TV screens with her poise and crisp voice every night during 1980s and 1990s. So that was the golden era of television when television started coming, and the era of television programming also started in 84 when television programs like Hum Log, Bunyad and other programs, Ye Jo Hai Zindagi, the comedy serials and programs based on the partition of India and so on, the family dramas, the soap operas. So that the era of 1980s and 1990s, before the development of the the cable revolution, or before the cable revolution came to India, Doordarshan has enjoyed a lot of majority with Indian audience, the popularity with Indian audience, and the Indian image Doordarshan used to carry with through their programs, the kind of patriotic programs they used to give us, or the kind of other programs which were based on either we can say comedy or suspense or drama. Everything was there, and Doordarshan has enjoyed that popularity during before the cable revolution. And after golden Doordarshan days, she has been Niti Ravindran has been keeping busy as a voiceover artist, making documentaries, short films, and anchoring special programs also. So it was her voice that led us through the death of Mother Teresa in 1997, and she was the brainchild behind award-winning documentary 50 Years of India's Independence, made for the Ministry of External Affairs through the United News of India. So she was one of the brainchild behind this documentary film, and she has not only read news on Indian television, she has given voice to many programs. She has also compared different programs, and she has given the commentary on Mother Teresa's death, and similarly she has done a lot of she has contributed a lot to Indian television, especially Doordarshan, and she was the brainchild, she was the important person behind the production of the 50 Years of India's Independence documentary film. And Ravindran is best known for her coverage of the Operation Blue Star in 1984. So this was one of the important chapters in Indian history, and one of the important operations that happened in 1984, and she gave the coverage of that live event, which is again very important for her and to her credit. So after moving on from Doordarshan, Ravindran has been anchoring programs and making documentaries and short films. So this is all about Niti Ravindran, who was associated with Doordarshan as in the capacity of news reader, and anchoring different programs, comparing different programs, giving voiceovers, and giving live commentary on different important events, and making documentary films. And then we have in the list Gitanjali Aiyar. So she was also one of the prominent faces of Indian television. She is also remembered very, very popularly. Everybody would have seen her. All these women journalists, all these women presenters, everybody might remember all of them, their faces, because they used to mean us a lot, as we have learned the craft of news watching these people only. So she, while at Doordarshan, was the newsreader, and the jazzy hairstyle she used to have, that modern fashionable women wanted to emulate. So she was a very modern and fashionable kind of a look on she presented on Doordarshan, and she was one of the first English news presenters who joined Doordarshan in the year 1971, and she has been awarded the best anchor person 4 times in her 30 years of career. So this is one of her achievements, that she was awarded the best anchor 4 times in her career of 30 years. She gave to Doordarshan and television. And known for her sense of dressing and stylish appearance, Gitanjali Aiyar was quite the favorite for the way of reading the English news, and she did her BA honors in English and a diploma in theatre also from the National School of Drama. So apart from reading the news, she also conducted TV interviews, acted in serial Khanna, and lent her face for some leading brand advertising. She has always been associated with World Wildlife Fund, WWF, who's a worldwide organization. And the next in the queue is Sarla Maheshwari. So elegance and simplicity is what has been used to describe Sarla Maheshwari. She was known for the efficient yet calm manner in which she delivered the news in Hindi, and for the Gujarati style in which she draped her sari. She was she was always remembered for her simplicity and elegance, and and the way she used to read out the news, very calm manner, in a very calm manner, she used to deliver the news. So she was a very popular news presenter of her times, and considered the most striking presence that graced the television news in the age of Doordarshan. Sarla Maheshwari floored the viewers with her utter simplicity, devoid of any form of jewelry that shone so elegantly. So without any use of any artificial jewelry or without any thing, with her simplicity and with her calmness and the way she used to present, the gracefully she used to present the news, she would always be remembered for that, and in the age of Doordarshan news. So she was very popular among the audience for the way, the style she used to wear, and the way she presented the news to the audience. And not only this, she presented other programs also on Indian television, and other shows like interview shows also she did during her days at Doordarshan. And a small mole on a small petite face, an almost expressionless face, a typical Gujarati style sari sporting lady. She caught the nation's attention with her quiet but effective delivery of the Hindi news. So this is why she was, she became popular, and she got the nation's attention with her because of the way she used to present, the effective delivery of her in presenting news on Indian television. And her very rare smile that spread gently caught the fancy of millions of viewers, like an intelligent parent giving that pleasantly tolerant look. So the next in the queue is Komal GB Singh, and she has covered the National Film Awards, the Festival of India Abroad, Republic Day parades, swearing in of 2 presidents, and delivered even the funeral commentary of the late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. So Komal GB Singh was one of the important television presenters who have covered very important national events such as National Film Awards. She has given commentary and she has covered those events, and the Festival of India, the film festivals which used to happen abroad, and Republic Day parades, which was again a very important event every year, and she used to cover the Republic Day parades also. Swearing in of 2 presidents, again a very important event of in Indian context, the swearing in ceremony of any president, and that too she covered for 2 different presidents in India, and she delivered even the funeral commentary of the late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi when the whole nation was in deep grave, and in that situation the way she gave the funeral commentary of late Prime Minister was awesome, and she would always be remembered for the, giving commentary on such events which are very sensational and very important at that time. And she also gave us commentary on different events of international and national repute. So her easy flowing style of delivery is most charming and adorable. The way she used to deliver the news, the style, the delivery was very charming, and she used to look very adorable. And having dedicated 16 years to national news, Komal GB Singh is an inspiration to many. She started her career with acting on stage with Yuvavani. Later she joined Doordarshan and became a newsreader. So she was with Doordarshan for DD National for almost 16 years, and she was an inspiration to many people. And she started her career with Yuvavani at Akashvani, is a channel of Akashvani, and she used to work. She started her career in acting also on stage, and later she joined Doordarshan and became a news reader. So she has anchored events like President's Fleet Review, Beating Retreat, and National Film Awards, etc. So she is with the board of directors for NIFT, Fortune Institute of Communication, and also a guest lecturer at Jamia Millia National University, Hindi Department of Communication. So this is how diversified career she had. She was into Doordarshan, she was into anchoring, she was into presenting different live events, President's Fleet Review, Beating and Retreat Ceremony, National Film Awards, and then she is into teaching also. She has been into the board of directors for NIFT, and her career in 16 years long career in the field of journalism, and that too on Doordarshan. So she has a diverse, a variety of her career, and the next in the line is Avinash, Kaur, Sareen. She was one of the very beautiful faces in the news reading, and Avinash Kaur started her career with Doordarshan as a news reader in 1970s. So she started her career as a news reader in 1970s, and she went on to become main newscaster, documentary director, and television personality. So not only this, she also directed some good documentary films for Doordarshan, and she became a prominent personality on television, and she is a member of the official panel of directors and producers at Doordarshan. So she has a very interesting career with Doordarshan, and not only working as a newscaster, but working as a producer of documentary films also. She directed a lot of documentary films, and she was an important television personality. And she is a member of the official panel of directors and producers at Doordarshan. So she received double bachelor's degree in physics and education. She had done one degree in physics and in education also from the University of Delhi. And she started her professional career as an anchor of a science show, Vigyan Patrika, on Doordarshan in 1979. So she started as her career with one of the important science shows called Vigyan Patrika on Doordarshan in 1979, and she was well qualified, well educated when she came to Indian television, and she anchored one of the important programs, which were one of the early programs which were based on science and technology. And during her career, during her career with television, during the 1984 riots in Delhi, when Sareen was not to be seen for a month due to health reasons, millions of letters, including one from the President's house, were sent to the Doordarshan head office in Delhi, inquiring about her well-being. This was a precedent of sorts in the history of television at the time. So she was, see how popular she was, that she was being remembered, and she was, once she was not there for almost 1 month during the riots in Delhi. She could not appear on television, and because of her popularity, the television channel Doordarshan received a lot of letters from the viewers. Millions of letters they received, and including one from the President's house, which was sent to Doordarshan head office in Delhi, inquiring about her well-being. So this is how popular she was, and it is very interesting fact and very important fact for a journalist, that she was so popular that people demanded her. They wanted to see her on the screen because she was not there for almost 1 month during that 1984 riots. And the next is Sadhna Srivastava. So she had a good diction in Hindi for the news, with a smooth flowing style that made it interesting, was her forte. She could also conduct programs in English equally well. Honored with the International Lifetime Achievement Award on 31st March 2009 by the International Congress of Women, Sadhna Srivastava worked in the film and electronic medium in significant, both in front of the camera and behind it. So she was a very important faces of Indian television, as she was carrying the style she used to carry with herself, and her forte and her expertise in conducting programs in both languages, English and Hindi equally, and that too equally well. And she was awarded, that is why she was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award to her credit. And she worked in the film and electronic medium in significant on both camera and behind the camera also. A well-known name in TV and cultural scenario for 35 years, Sadhna is a master of both the mediums, having long years of hands-on experience. Besides being a popular TV news reader, she has been anchor for television and stage, director and producer of documentary films, short films, serials, AVs, consultant coordinator of festivals and events, managing partner in Nasadia Arts, and trustee of India Foundation, chairman Heritage Trust, and other such. She has compared programs for various cultural institutions as well, whether it is a visit by the head of states, countries, global organizations or the national holidays such as the Republic Day, Independence Day. So she has lent her voice, her own distinct style as commentator of live telecast of Doordarshan. So she has also provided her professional expertise in the media to foreign embassies based in India for festivals such as Days of Poland in India, year-long celebration of Chopin, and events of the Royal Norwegian Embassy. So with this we come to the end, but let us just, before I sum up, I would also like to take Usha Albarku. And Usha was the foray into media and journalism started as the English news reader for Doordarshan, and she wrote for several magazines. Soon she took up producing and sometimes anchoring also television news, features, quizzes, talk shows and documentaries for corporate houses, the Air Force, Ministry of External Affairs and international organizations such as the World Bank and the Portuguese and Brazilian TV. She is a gold medalist in English literature and education from Madras University. Her media career was capped by the production of many documentaries on special relevant issues, including Seeds of Life, which won the highest national film award in the country, and Silent Killing, which was nominated for the UNICEF Child Rights Award. And she pioneered career guidance on television by producing several widely acclaimed series, Hum Honge Kamyab, The Passionate Parvaz, and the career chat show Avinash, that together ran for over 4 years. With this, we come to the end of this session, and I hope you would have definitely learned about these women achievers and how challenging their role was in media, and how they have learned the craft and mastered the craft and made their spaces in the heart of the audience, and the reasons why they were loved by the people, and how they have broken the stereotypes in a men-dominating society, and how they have made their mark in the society. So with this we come to the end, and please keep watching and stay tuned.